The silent destroyer of your body? What could it be?
Here's a clue. Period pain. If your periods are ruining your life, it might be endometriosis. Left untreated, endometriosis can slowly destroy your body from the inside. And the shocker, it's more common than you think. Keep watching. We're about to reveal 4 key clues that could mean you have endometriosis. Don't ignore this, as spotting them early could stop serious and irreversible destruction to your body.
Okay. I am a humble, clueless potato rolling through life. Can you throw a few basic breadcrumbs my way before we dive into the deep-fried nitty-gritty?
Sure, let's start with, what exactly is the endometrium? Simply put, it's the lining of the womb. But here's a question, what do you think its main job is? To protect the uterus? Cause a period, or help with conception? The right answer is to help with conception. The endometrium is a specialized, well-organized tissue full of tiny glands and a rich blood supply. It's designed to create the perfect environment for a fertilized egg to grow, making it essential for pregnancy.
I see now! So the endometrium is just sitting there saying, I'm the fertile soil, drop the seed, let's grow a human.
The endometrium never sits still. It's constantly shifting, adapting to a cycle that repeats over and over, again and again. These changes happen as part of something called the menstrual cycle. For most women, it lasts about 28 days, but it's more intricate than it seems. The menstrual cycle has 2 main phases, the proliferative phase and the secretory phase. These are controlled by 2 key hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen leads the way in the first half, triggering the endometrium to grow and develop. The endometrium thickens. It builds new blood vessels and forms glands. This is called the proliferative phase. It lasts from day 6 to day 14. Then progesterone takes over in the second half, helping the endometrium to mature and gear up for what's to come.
Ah, I get it. So estrogen fluffs the soil and progesterone makes it super cozy, just in case a seed drops by.
Almost like it's preparing a comfy and cozy bed. But why is it doing this? Because it's getting ready for a potential pregnancy. But wait, there's one crucial step before that, ovulation. Around the middle of the cycle, the ovary releases an egg. The egg travels down the fallopian tube toward the uterus. If it meets a sperm and gets fertilized, conception happens. Now we enter the secretory phase, from day 15 to 28. During this time, the endometrium becomes highly active. It stores nutrients and secretes mucus to support a potential fertilized egg. All of this is in preparation for implantation, when the egg embeds into the uterine lining to begin its journey of growing into a baby.
Okay. So let me get this straight. The soil goes through a full-on monthly makeover just in case a seed decides to show up. Now that's dedication.
But here's the catch. This doesn't happen every cycle. Most of the time, the egg isn't fertilized. So what happens then? First, hormone levels start to fall, especially progesterone. When this happens, the endometrium releases chemical messengers called prostaglandins. These trigger the endometrium to break down and detach from the uterus. The resulting tissue and blood are then expelled through the vagina. And that's what we experience as a menstrual period.
So if the seed's a no-show, the soil self-destructs. What a sad story.
Ever heard of your endometrium growing where it shouldn't? Let's talk about endometriosis, a condition where endometrial tissue that should stay inside the uterus ends up elsewhere. In about 1 in 10 women, it's found outside the womb, on the ovaries, fallopian tubes, bladder, bowel, abdominal wall, other abdominal organs, and sometimes even the lung. And that's where painful problems begin.
It's total chaos. Someone's tossing soil outside the field. Who's in charge of quality control?
But here's the truth. Misplaced endometrial tissue doesn't just sit quietly. It responds to hormones just like normal uterine lining. So when it's time for your period, it tries to shed, but it has nowhere to go. Instead, it gets trapped inside the body, causing blood-filled cysts, inflammation, pain, and scarring. Over time, it creates sticky bands called adhesions that make organs stick together. This can twist and distort the abdominal and pelvic organs, leading to serious problems like bowel or bladder obstruction.
This is mayhem. Rogue soil waging war on your insides. This isn't gardening, it's a full-blown battle.
Join us as we unravel the 4 powerful clues that could mean you have endometriosis. Stick around till the end. We've got 2 bonus clues you won't want to miss.
Don't go anywhere. This is the part that could change your life. No pain, no gain. That's the usual goss. But this pain, my friends, comes with a brutal cost.
And guess what? The most common symptom of endometriosis, pain, but not just any pain. In endometriosis, pain comes in 2 forms. First, period pain or dysmenorrhea. And here's a surprising fact. Period pain is common in women under 30. When there's no underlying pelvic condition, It's called primary dysmenorrhea. This happens when prostaglandin levels rise around the time of your period, causing the uterus to contract and blood vessels to tighten, leading to those classic lower abdominal cramps. Most people get this wrong. Period pain caused by endometriosis is called secondary dysmenorrhea because it stems from underlying pelvic disease. It's more severe, lasts longer, and isn't just tied to your period. It can start before, linger after, and become a constant companion. This isn't your typical cramping. Over time, it can get worse and usually won't respond to regular painkillers. That's a red flag.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying there are two types of period pain, and endometriosis pain rewrites the pain scale. This is worse than a tearjerker.
As if that wasn't enough. Now you're hit with even more pain. We're talking about pain during sex, also known as Dyspareunia. In endometriosis, this often happens during deep penetration due to inflammation and distortion around the vagina, cervix, and the rectal wall. If you're dealing with this kind of pain, don't suffer in silence. The longer you leave it, the more damage it can do, and the harder it is to reverse.
This is too much to take. Endometriosis brings more than just ache. It attacks your mind and your mental state.
Here's something that's often overlooked. Many women with endometriosis also struggle with anxiety and depression. But why? Because chronic pain wears you down, physically, mentally, and emotionally. In fact, almost half of all people with chronic pain end up with some psychological distress. If your low mood is linked to long-standing pelvic pain, don't ignore it. It could be a clue.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Silent. Silent who? The silent destroyer of your fertility.
Here's something you probably didn't expect. Nearly 40% of women who struggle to conceive are found to have endometriosis. Infertility means not getting pregnant after trying for a year, or 6 months if you're over 35. But how does endometriosis get in the way of a pregnancy? It can distort the pelvic organs, create scarring, and overload the system with prostaglandins that interfere with implantation. Here's a rule of thumb. Once scarring sets in, you're entering the realm of no return. The damage is permanent. So if you're struggling to conceive, endometriosis might be the reason, even if you don't have severe pain.
Endometriosis in the family? Yep, it's one painful knot on your family tree.
Here's something you probably didn't expect. This one often catches people off guard. Endometriosis can run in families. If your mum, sister, or daughter has it, your risk goes up 7 to 10 times. So if you're experiencing painful periods and someone close to you has been diagnosed, don't brush it off. You could be dealing with the same condition.
Recap time! So let me get this straight. Pain leads the parade, anxiety tags along, infertility crashes the party, and guess who sent the invite? Yep, your family tree.
As promised, here are 2 bonus clues. First, absenteeism. If your periods are so painful that you regularly miss school or work, that's not normal. It's a strong sign of underlying endometriosis. Second, nulliparity. If you've never been pregnant, your risk of endometriosis is higher. It doesn't mean you will definitely have it, but it's another clue worth noting.
Okay, that was a surprise. If your womb has never hosted a baby and period pains have you burning sick days at work, endometriosis might be gate crashing.
Here is your take-home message. Endometriosis is a silent destroyer. The sooner you recognize the signs, the sooner you can get help. Early diagnosis can protect your health, fertility, and future. So don't wait. Speak to your doctor. Your body will thank you.
Spoiler alert! Next up, infertility. Hi, I am Dookie. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more mind-boggling content.